Alright. See if she goes. She's cold. Come on. Start on me. Oh. Nice. Very nice. Alright. Because yeah, it's kind of cold. Now here's a question. Is that supposed to be doing that? See how this thing fares in about a foot of snow, probably about 50 feet out, then it goes about 4 inches just because of the wind. Alright. Woo! Right off a rock. Oh, she moves. Oh, a little squirrely. And 4 inches doesn't seem to have too much problem, but let's slow it down, see if we got anything less. We got about 3 inches here, but oh yeah, she'll go through a foot of snow. A little bouncy. I got my nice little ice fishing rig, cocked, locked, and ready to rock. Snow tires, doing great for snow. You don't really need the studs too much, and when it's this much snow, those are more for ice. But definitely still grips. I got a very lightweight system today. I'm going to be testing out another underwater camera. Hopefully have an update on that one soon. I put out a video where I'm trying to find the best underwater camera for scouting. I wonder if the vibrations will have any impact on it, but really got a mini bike for a lightweight rig. Get around the lake here, get around some of the other lakes that don't have an access at all. You're not seeing the ice auger on it right now because I came out here a little earlier. I was using the ice auger to drill some holes and the thing froze on me. So I'm gonna head back, get the auger, get back on the bike, get out on the ice and do some testing of my camera system. But before I do that, I'll just give a little run around and make sure that my rig is right for a very basic, inexpensive ice fishing setup. Nice little Scoutmaster. Bounce, 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 bounce. There we go. Now I had something happen where the, all these little dunes are kind of bumping me around. Gotta make sure I've got a good wrist position on here, but what was I saying? Oh yeah, I've had a little problem with the governor spring. I had one video, if you've seen it, the throttle just stuck. This is where the studs come in handy. If you saw somebody plowed a path out to their house out there. This is where the studs come in handy, is when you transition from snow to ice. You're going to still hook up instead of just spin out on the tires or slide a bit. And nice setup. Looks like somebody got some snow mounds out there. I do want to do some snow climbing with it, but really just testing out the lakes, because you get hard patches of snow, then soft, hard, then soft, hard, then soft. Right there, I came really slow into it, and you can just see a lot of powder kicked up. If I'd hit that a bit faster instead of slowing down, I think I would have cruised through it, but we got a big drift coming through here off of where you can see bare ice. I'm still going through it just fine. Kick back on the throttle and it's up and going. I can still feel the bucket against my back, which means it's still there, which is good. Hit a little bit of ice. no problems to it. Here's some thicker stuff, cruising through it. I really do like I still do like the seat. It's got enough cushion for my narrow IE, but there's some deep stuff. Come on! Yee-haw! Mini bike! Woo! Oh! I almost came off on that one, not so well. Alright. Definitely got to be careful out here still. Yeah, kicking up nicely. It is still smooth. Give it full throttle. I feel the governor kicking in. I feel it's a little bit weaker. I did a max speed. On this thing, and I got 18, 19 miles per hour after something happened with the governor. First, it was doing probably about 22. Then the throttle stuck open. Well, first it stuck closed, then it snapped and stuck open. Oh, this is fun. I've lost all control of the mini bike as far as throttle goes. Woo! This isn't right! And then, yeah, something happened with the spring. I don't know if it came loose a bit, but now she's doing about 18, 19. There's a nice big bump. Slowed it down on purpose there, but kick it up through here. Vroom, big bump, slow down. Kick up, slow down. Punch it! Ooh, big bump. Hey, I'm actually surprised this thing's going through all right. I mean, a lot of lakes, even if you get a foot dump of snow, here we go, nice big section. You get a foot dump in the snow, a lot of it's gonna blow off through lake wind effect. But yeah, I think a lot of people are waiting on this this camera. So I'm gonna do some testing with this camera. Oh, something else just rushed in. It was a little bit bigger. Oh, I actually had that guy. Whoopsies. Get a little bit of footage, see if I get some underwater footage. I have already been having trouble with the camera. I came out when it was about, I don't know if it was 10 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit, but first time I took the thing out, it turns out I charged it 2 days ahead of time. The battery didn't hold a charge. Battery died. Went back, came back with the camera charged, and the connection wouldn't hold. The Wi-Fi connection would drop after 30 seconds. So it's warmed up today. It's about 20-degree difference from 10 below. It's 10 above Fahrenheit. And I'm going to pop some holes in the ice. I got to go grab the auger. Then I'll pop some holes in the ice and give you some footage of that camera, a little bit of an update, and hopefully get some good results for it, but I'm not going to recommend it for a while. Oh, and ice fishing tip. I'll show you a little bit of a decoy that I use. Alright, got a couple holes popped over here. I was gonna get the slush out of them. The rig. Now I'll say that I'm excited for early ice, and when the warmer temperatures are here, this handle doesn't freeze on me, because it actually sits really well with these tines. Right up here, the fins, whatever you want to call them. Auger fits really well up there, and then the bungee kind of gets pulled in. It sits nicely up there all together. Very compact rig, and a lot of little lakes out here with, they'll be next to a road but no access. You can't really get in, well, you can get ATVs down there, but I don't have an ATV. Those things are expensive. Yeah, it's windy out here. Sorry if you're just hearing wind noise. Holes are blowing over. So one of the tips that I've found over the years, I've used ice fishing cameras for years, and I've noticed that when I use the ice fishing camera, one of my older ones, the Fish TV, you're not going to see it in recently. I'm going to be testing some other cameras out. But one of the other videos I have, the camera looks like a fish, and when it looks like a fish, other fish seem to want to come over and just kind of check it out. Say, hey buddy, how you doing? You got anything good to eat? They'll hang around your bait. So I like rigging up something like this. It's because if I am testing out a camera, I want to actually catch fish underwater footage for you. Wind it down to the bottom and then up a foot. I'm just going to hook it up here. Like I said, it's about 10. Tomorrow should be about 40, so we're going to be hitting with some high wind over here. And this thing gets semi back to the wind, but then you can't see this beautiful picture right here of nice sporty little transport mechanism. Alright, I'm going back to the wind. And now here's where this camera last time, inside I did testing. I've probably got about 4 hours of testing with this camera, and should have a good battery. I'll turn it on. It's an endoscope. Why an endoscope over the other ice fishing cameras? I got a different video for that, and feel free to check it out. This is just a small update. It's not any recommendations yet. And turn on the app. Give it a start. Looks like it's maybe pointed at the sky. There we go. Alright, so I'm just going to turn the recording on here. And it's recording. Last time I got about 30 seconds. Oh, don't want the glove to go down the hole. Last time I got about 30 seconds. I got the camera pointed the right way. Okay. Bend it a little more this way. And flip that back. There we go. So the other camera I tested was also a bit more rigid with the wire. This one a little more difficult. Hit the tip up. This one's a little bit more difficult to get in a good position, which I'm a little concerned you get it under the water and you don't know where you're going to be looking at, because it's hanging wires all over the place. Oh, there's the bottom. You have a couple little fishies down there, and these guys are about 1 inch. About 1 inch. I'm not gonna give them any more credit than that. I wonder if I can change the camera settings while still recording. I'm at 720. Let's go 1080. Setting success. Back. Am I still recording? No, I am not. Well, let's stop that and let's go back to 720. Seems to be 720 is actually a larger screen. 1080 is just zoomed in more. See if I can get positioned here. Well, hello, little fishy. Are you confused and troubled? You're really little guys out here right now. See, my line is already freezing right on the top of that hole. That's because of the wind. Up. Having some technological difficulties. Alright, now let's see if I can get a little guy over here. Come say hi. Hey, little guy. You're too small. I'm not even gonna set the hook on that one. Oh, something else just rushed in. It was a little bit bigger. Oh, I actually had that guy. Whoopsies! Yeah, these guys are all just so tiny. Alright. Little perch. Okay. Well, Alright, well, I got one little guy, and I'm gonna need a bit of a warmer or something, because just the ice forms so quickly right now because of the wind. I'm gonna play around with this camera. I gotta get a few more hours on it before I make any recommendations, and quite honestly, I think I'm gonna buy another one and test them side by side, because I'm not really liking this one as much as I like the other one, except that the video on this one works. So the very first camera that I had was a Nidage or Nidage. Please pronounce it for me. This camera, when I purchased it, was $30, and I'm just going to do a quick comparison this to what I was out with today. This one is a Depstech. Both of these are the higher review cameras. I actually like the first camera that I tested better. Just zoom in here and I'll give you a couple condition notes. The water was greener and murkier due to some plant die-off. We had a really cold swell come through here. Plants did die off. I was in the weeds, as opposed to the previous video I had. I was not in the weed line. I was more in a sandy bottom. So the water clarity was actually better in the previous video. Cons for this camera, in just a comparison, this one to the first one, this camera creates an interference or ticking noise. I'm not sure if you picked that up in some of the videos. This camera does not like colder temperatures. When I was at negative below, the Wi-Fi did not hook up well. Didn't hold charge on a battery. It's holding charge now, so I don't know if maybe I just didn't get a full charge on the first time and it needed a full charge on the initial, but I'll see where that goes. And the wire was not as stiff, and it was much harder to position this camera than the other one. I really like the first camera I tested in comparison, and that's the one that made me think, okay, this is more convenient. This camera that I just tested is kind of annoying to use and took me a step backwards. Pros with this camera, however, the application with it is much nicer to use. Changing camera resolution does work, also about the app. And then the app, again, connection was nicer to establish when stayed connected. Currently, I'm at about 6.5 to 7 hours in testing. Well, hopefully I will have another update video out soon, but I'm going to check out some of these other alternatives and probably just purchase a couple more cameras out here, speed up the testing, and I really want to figure out which one of these will be my good scouting camera. We'll see. Thanks for checking out the video, and hope you have a great day.